Hey, Mark. Okay, folks, welcome on the glide slope. We are in the virtual airplane today. We are in a Piper Archer 2. I don't quite remember who makes it. Might be a Carenado airplane. Not a huge fan of Carenado aircraft, but better than nothing, I guess. And it's an Archer 2, which is what I fly in the real world. And I just had a few minutes here. I thought I'd do a quick streaming flight. We're at Albert Whitted, which is where I fly in the real world. I had a flight out of here yesterday. And thought we'd just do a quick hop and see how things go. Maybe do a couple maneuvers out over the Gulf and then come back. So without any further ado, let's get things going. Spin the trim wheel. I'm sure that will lock up Windows for a few minutes now that I've done that. While we're waiting for that to wake up, we will start our pre-flight here. I'm just going to kind of go through my routine here tonight, and we'll presume that you guys are sort of following along, those of you who are watching. Let's see, I can never remember the weather frequency. I should. A little sad that I don't. 118.875. Okay, well, let's get started. Hope the audio's okay. Sounds okay here at me. Oh yeah, it's been a while since I've used this. Not perfectly designed for VR, this particular airplane. .875. Hello.
Albert Whitted Information Foxtrot. 1700 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 20,000 scattered, 35,000 scattered, temperature 14, dew point -10.
If that's the case, they'd take us off on 25, but I'll do what I did yesterday, which is I went off on 17 and did a short field. Left and right, that goes up and down. Up and down. Rotor seems to be working. Okay. This is one of NAPS's airports. I think he did a really good job of it. Make sure we're still streaming here. Yep, looks like it. Turn down the desktop audio just a bit there. Okay. I've been customizing this airport a little bit in WED. And at some point we'll make a gateway version to release. He has a bunch of high definition textures in it, which makes it pretty hard on frames, but once you're away from the airport it gets better. One of the things that I've been putting in it that's not in the original is this run-up area over here. And its compass rose. Hey Mark, if you're still watching, if you could give me a comment and let me know that everything looks and sounds okay, I'd appreciate it. And Mr. Green. Magnetos. Come on, baby. There we go. Oh, carb heat. I don't know why I'm only getting 2,000 out, because for some reason the carb heat's on. Yeah, there we go. Hey DM, good to see you. Hello from Brazil. Yeah, sickness, it can do that for you. Every once in a while I get a little sick, but I get a little sick in the real airplane too. I was doing steep turns yesterday in real world practice, and a couple times in those turns I felt like my bottom was going to fall out of my stomach, or my stomach was going to fall out of my bottom. Alright, we would now call tower, tell them we're done with our run-up. Then we're ready to taxi, and they tell us to go Alpha to Bravo, a hold short of 25. Looks like it's put an automatic runway sign right here in the middle. We'd hold short. Yesterday they told us to go ahead and cross 25 at Bravo, then make right hand turn and cross 18 at Delta. So we'll do that. Nobody's coming. Okay, that's good for me to know. I appreciate that. I'll move my head a little slower. Yeah, I'm still getting used to the whole streaming thing. I haven't figured out the technology as well as I should have. Okay, we call tower, we tell them that we're ready to go. Mixture is rich. Flaps are down. Fuel pump on. Transponder. Squawking VFR. Landing lights on. Trim set. neutral. I could always just reach down here and do it this way also. I've got a trim wheel in the cabin, so I like to use it. Okay. No one coming? Final control check. Alright, so I'll try to move my head a little slower. I don't know if that's just my bandwidth upload speed or what. I think it's just because we're probably taxing the crap out of the GPU and the CPU. Okay, we're on the center line. Our compass and our directional gyro agree. Full power. RPMs look good where they should be. Engine instruments are green. Airspeed's alive. We're on the center line. Rotation speed. VX is 76 knots. St. Pete, Tropicana Field going by. Turn down the airplane just a little bit, moving the sound. Okay, they tell us that we're on course, turn approved to head to the Gulf. We'll turn to 270 and hold at 1,000 feet until we are past the arrival route for St. Pete Airport. Right about here. There's Tropicana Field. Well, you might, if you at all can do it, you might hold on to the home cockpit until you've gotten used to VR. You may not like it, it's not necessarily for everybody, I don't think. Past St. Pete arrivals, now we can go up to 2,000 feet. Add a little power. This airplane seems to be flying a little faster than the one in the real world. Yes, I am using my aviation headset, so you can just take the headphones off the Rift. I just put my aviation headset over the top of it. Works really easily. Going up. The Bravo shelf here is 3,000 feet. This feels faster yesterday because yesterday we had turns out we had about a 20 knot headwind here. Shredder, I use PilotEdge almost all the time when I stream. I'd say the last 4 or 5 flights I've done have been on PilotEdge. Just not tonight, I wanted to practice or fly around in Florida where I do in the real world. But I'm a huge PilotEdge guy. Recommend it to anybody and everybody. Alright, St. Petersburg coming up underneath us here. Golf course there is a bailout spot if we were to lose the motor on not long after takeoff. In fact, if you look right there, homepage PilotEdge is one of the shortcuts you can see on the browser window. Alright, so 3,000 feet here is the Bravo shelf. We don't have to worry about that. Once we're over the beach, it goes up to 6,000 feet. We'll go up to about 3,500 and do a couple of steep turns and a stall or two, and then come back and maybe do a lap or two of the pattern, and then be done. It's late here where I live. It's 11 o'clock. I want to get at least a half decent night's sleep. Do I have dual yokes in my sim? Yeah, Paul, I do. In fact, I've got a Yoko yoke on the left-hand side the Cytec Cessna yoke on the right. Of course, X-Plane doesn't read dual yokes simultaneously. So I've got a little piece of Lua code that I've found online and modified and coded that allows it to switch controls when I flip a toggle switch on the yoke. So if I flip the toggle left, it's left controls, and if I flip the toggle right. So I call it my airplane, your airplane, and when I'm flying with somebody, I'll say your airplane, and I flip it over, and it's their airplane. Vice versa. Okay, we're coming up over the Gulf here. We're okay now to go up to 6,000 feet to stay out of the Bravo. St. Pete's down below us. There's St. John's Pass. Is that gap there with the bridge? I really like having dual yokes in the physical cockpit. It's fun having somebody fly with you. You have two sets of controls. But I had to figure out how to make it work in X-Plane. Okay, engine instruments are looking fine. We're still going up here. We can climb at a little higher rate than this. Getting out here, we might as well make our clearing turns for maneuver, so let's make a left-hand clearing turn first. 90-degree clearing turn. Boy, that water looks nice. It was a beautiful day flying yesterday, I'll tell you what. Looking back on St. Pete, back toward St. Petersburg there, and across the bay to Tampa. Okay, now we can make another clearing turn coming back this way. Yeah, so Schrader, I don't have a video, but if you go to my website, if you go to www.ontheglideslope.net, then there's a how-to button where I have different how-tos that I've learned over the years. And one of the how-tos is dual controls, both in X-Plane and prepared. And it has everything you need there. It even has the code that you need to use. So I think that would be no problem for you. You need to learn a little bit about Lua, how to use it, but almost all the very many of the great plugins in X-Plane use Lua anyway, so you'll get there regardless if you don't use it already. So check it out. Yeah, I know you guys are getting a foot tonight. All right, well, good luck, BM. All right, we're coming up to 3,500 feet. I never checked the altimeter back at the script, so I don't really know what the altitude was now that I think about it. The RPM here seem a little off. I wouldn't be usually laying out at full throttle. One thing I've noticed about the Carenado aircraft is they don't necessarily fly on the numbers. All right, mixture. Bring it back just a little bit. Hey, Mark. Okay, we're out of the Bravo airspace. We're coming up to 3,500 feet. Again, that RPM seems low to me. Usually be running about 27 full throttle, but whatever. Now they've got it modeled, I'll go in with PlaneMaker and fix it. Okay, get ourselves trimmed nice and level here. Close enough. Okay, steep turns. Heading is 3-3. Steep turn left first. Turn over. Add a little power. As I should. Yeah, I hope that's... Let's see what that message is. Let's see. Don't know. Okay, well, we'd roll right into a right-hand turn right away. Feels like the airplane's going to tip over. 35 degrees. Keep that same spot on the dash, on the cowl. First time you do steep turns, at least for me, they're a little scary. You're really in a big bank. You really feel the G's, but they're also sort of fun. Full power here. A little weird. I like the handling of the Just Flight Pipers better. They fly more like the real, at least it feels like it to me. Okay. Done that. See, now it's climbing like a rock. Or climbing like a balloon. Climbing like a rock. Obviously that for me. Okay, let's configure for power off stall. Let's fly down to about 58 knots. Get inside the wide arc, first notch flaps. Fuel pump is on, carb heat on. Landing lights we can turn off, first notch. Let's keep it at 3,500 feet. Let's fly heading to 3.6 for this. Well, 3.3 is probably good. Next notch. Do slow flight for a little bit. Next notch. Fully configured here for slow flight, full flaps. And let's keep slowing her down. Use the trim wheel. Hey McShiggity, good to see you. Okay, getting down to 58 knots, that's pretty slow. That's about where we hear the stall horn in the real airplane. So we'll keep it here. We are in a landing configuration, nose up, airplane should be mushy. Let's do a slow turn to 270. Mostly turn with the rudder in this situation, doesn't take a lot to get into a standard turn position. 58 knots, we're right on the cusp of the stall horn. Okay, roll out gently. Alright, and let's turn back to 360. Again, more rudder than anything else. Standard rate turn. Boy, it looks good in 3D. Okay. Now let's get ready to do a power off stall. Nose down, so we're in a landing configuration. We're in a general landing descent. There we go. And then roll out of the throttle and pitch up. Stabilize descent. Out of the power. Gotta steer with the feet here so you don't spin the airplane. Stall horn. Airplane does not want to stall. There we go. There's our stall. Full power. First speed, climbing back up. First notch back in. Second notch. Third notch. Okay. We'll go back up to 3,500 feet. We were getting up to Clearwater Beach. Okay. Carb heat off. Fuel pump off. Okay. Time for, we'll do a power on stall. We're going to slow it to 1500 RPMs. Now descend. Fuel pump on. Like we are in a takeoff configuration. There we go. Let our airspeed drop. Now descend when we get down to about rotation speed, which is about 60 knots in this airplane. Pulling back. Now slowly, and now start to add power and pull back. Here with the rudders. There's the brake. Let the airspeed come up. And we're ready now, so time. Okay. This airplane stalls better than the V-Flight. I couldn't get the V-Flight to stall at all. Yeah, McChiggy, it's not that hard. I mean, it sits in your hand almost like a pistol grip. It's really easy. And then I'm using a real yoke. So that's not hard either. Okay, let's head back and let's do an emergency descent. Pump off. The sim's really working hard. I don't know why its frames are so bad. But it is what it is. Couldn't be. There's not anything else going on. But it feels like it's really working. Okay, heading of 180. 3,500 feet. Okay, emergency descent. Our emergency descent procedure is going to be to cut the throttle, pitch down to 120 knots. Going to be right there. And then while we're at 120 knots, we're going to do S-turns to keep everything from going 0 Gs and flying all around the cabin. So imagine we have a fire, we need to put it out. Pull the throttle completely. Pitch down. We got to get down, we got to get down, we got to get down. So we're pitching down and we start our S-turns. Pitch for 120. There we go. S-turn coming back this way. You can see our vertical speed indicator is pegged. We are going down fast. Watch that airspeed, we don't want to rip the wings off the bird. S-turn this way. Pitched up too much, lost too much airspeed there. Go down to 1,000 feet. Turn back this way, and now we can start to roll out and bring the power back. Alright, emergency descent. Now we're back to 2,500 RPM. Maybe it's because I had it trimmed out a little. I had the mixture out a little bit and leaned it, and that's why I was getting 4 RPMs. Cruise at about 23. someone commented on your website that they use the USB hub, so I'm going to try that first. Yeah, I think you can have a USB hub where you can just flip it manually. Okay, we don't need to worry about the Bravo here because we are below 2,000 feet, which is where the Bravo airspace is. Put it in the water, that'll put the fire out. Yes, it would. It would put a lot of things out, including the lights. Okay, cruising along Indian Shores Beach here. We'll come up to St. John's Pass, then we would call the tower and tell them where we were and then we were coming in. Trying to be mindful of turning my head too fast. Okay, so we did steep turns, we did power off and power on stall, we did slow flight, we did an emergency descent. That, aside from hood work, is most of the maneuvers you need to do in the airman certification standards. And I practiced all that yesterday real world. Yeah, I'm wondering whether or not I should get a new CPU and GPU here. Oh yeah. Turns around the point. Let's do those right now. We're a little close. Let's go around the point of that. Let's go around that bridge right there. Then we'll go to St. John's. No, I don't have any wind in this right now, so it's sort of cheating. 4,000 feet, we're low enough. It would be easier to do turns around a point in 3D, I assume. I haven't done any. I haven't tried any of those ground reference maneuvers in the VR yet, so this will be interesting. All right, here we go. It's a perfect circle. Yeah, with that wind, it's a little cheating. In fact, it's a lot cheating. And then that road there is about right. Our altitude is about 1,000 feet. Little tight on that turn. And back over the beach again. About where we started. Yeah, it is cheating. No wind. Yesterday, when we took off, the wind was like 7, maybe gusting 10. By the time we got back, it was let's see, landing 2.5, the wind was 220, 14 gusting 21. And that's probably, it's easily the gustiest conditions I've ever been in. But I told my CFI, keep your hands off the stick, I want to do this, and you know, we did just fine. Okay, right here I'd call St. Pete. We'd be a little higher than 1,000 feet. Let's do a quick zoom climb, just for the hell of it. We call Albert Whitted and say that we are at St. John's Pass, inbound full stop. They would say make right traffic for 25, and we would say roger that. Yeah, I can't quite figure out why the sim is performing so poorly tonight. Okay, I can see the Tropicana Field Stadium, so that's not a bad landmark. Oh boy. Great, roadblock, storm chasing, Minecraft, and more. There you go, okay. Whatever floats your boat, man. Okay, we'd start configuring for descent. First of all, let's just switch over to the other tank. Fuel pump on. And to the left, positive fuel pressure. Fuel pump off. And pattern altitude here is 800 feet, so we start to come down a little bit. Yeah, Mark, you need a beast of a rig to run it. Now mine is 2 years old now. I'm running a 980 Ti and I've got a 6700 that's overclocked to about 46K. But, you know, I'd be happier with more. So I'm already starting to eye like a 1080 Ti with an 8700. You know, to have it be really smooth, you need to be running about 45 frames a second. I get that in most places. Even in Los Angeles, I can at least run half that. But the VR seems to clock in at multiples of that, so it's either 22.5, 45, or 90. And if you're not getting that, it's quite jaggy. If you read on, there's a Facebook group called VR Aviators that has a lot of advice on how to get it kind of dialed in. When I first used it, I thought, this isn't going to work. But after getting it dialed in, it's great. And again, this scenery up here is pretty taxing, so it starts to run at 22.5, but most places I get 4,500. This Warrior, I think, is the Coronado Archer 2. Yeah, streaming hurts me here for sure. I'm running OBS. Okay, we're coming down to pattern altitude. Okay, let's go with landing checklist. What's our flow? Our flow is going to be mixture is rich. Master is on, landing light is on, fuel pump is on, carb heat on. And again, I never checked the barometric pressure when we were at takeoff, so I'm not quite sure. But this feels like it's about 800 feet. Okay, we're not going to fly over the trop, but we're going to get about there, and then we're going to set up for the downwind leg 2.5 at Albert Whitted. Yesterday I was crabbing hard here because the wind was coming out fast from 220. No touch and goes on, yeah, seeing, because I've got, it's interesting, it's not giving me any of the buildings for downtown St. Pete yet because I'm running the 3 FPJS or whatever it is. Now they're starting to come into view. Okay. Get on the downwind here. 90 knots is about where we want to be. Trop. We're flying a reciprocal heading of 2.5. St. Petersburg. We don't want to be too close to those buildings, so it's a little bit wider pattern than we would normally fly on this side. Okay. At our touchdown point, throttle back. About 17. Everything's set. First notch flaps, pitch 480. Yesterday I was about here and they called my base turn. I said, 746, turn your base. And we said okay, because they had someone coming in behind us, so we'll do that here. Again, I think we're low. I don't think I have my barometric pressure set right, so we'll trust our sight picture here, which looks to me like we're at about 100 feet off the ground, not 500 feet off the ground. Next notch. Speed's a little fast. Let ourselves slow down a little bit here. There we go. Turn final. A little bit of an overturn. We'll just fly right back to it. No problem. Okay. Back to the right power setting. Final flaps. A little fast still. Got it made. Oop. A little bit of a hopper, but not too bad. Still find the ground steering in this thing is really awkward. Much more tricky than in the real world. Flaps back up. Come back to neutral. Fuel pump. Adding lights. Back to the barn. 11:30. Pretty cool. This NAP software has the Dolly Museum right there. Looks just like that. Has the hangar restaurant and the FBO over there, which looks just like that. These hangars are all photorealistic. It's cool. Yeah, so I'm about 200 feet, 230 feet low. Because of the correct altimeter would be about there. We're just off sea level. So, trust your sight picture. That's what I did. There you go, St. Pete Air, bound to fly here. Oh man, when I hit the brakes there, I just got motion sickness. It's hot here. Open the window. In fact, let's really try to make it more comfortable in here. There we go. Avionics off. Where's the avionics switch in this thing? Yes. It's in a different place in the airplane I fly. It's down there. They don't have modeled any of those switch sounds or anything like that, which is a bit of a shame, but is what it is. Yeah, switch hunting is for sure. I can see the chat because I can go into, if you press the Oculus button on your, with the new Oculus Dash software, if I push the Oculus button, it pulls up the Oculus Dash, and one of the things I can do is look at my desktop. And I can grab Windows off my desktop, put them where I want to see them, pin them, then go back to my game, and there they are. Yeah, no kidding. It is amazing. I mean, really, it's nuts. You could do long haul flights and put, you know, Netflix in there and watch movies while you're flying. Close that. No, it's in Oliver. If you or Olivier, if you tick the boxes in Oculus Dash to use the beta and put yourself into the beta program, it will download it in the newest update, and then will give you that new dashboard. And when you open up Oculus, you'll see this instead of the things you normally used to see. It's pretty cool. All right, guys, well, that was fun. I need to get to the bottom of my frame rate performance. Not what I would have liked, but, you know, flyable. I think some of it is this scenery right here in Albert Whitted, but something else is grinding on the sim, and I'm not quite sure. If I look at Lasso, yeah, it's hard to say. I have OBS running on its own cores. Everything else I sort of have free. So I'm not quite sure what was causing it, but I usually get better performance than that. So it is what it is. Hey Bambino, how are you? Good to see you. Do I still use 3 screens in the VR mode? No, I have to unplug them, Mark, because if I don't unplug them, I can't pin that Windows window. When I grab, oh no, hold on. There we go. When I grab a window from the desktop, it won't let me do that. It basically gives me a big X mark, says it won't work. So I would do it when I just disabled them in Windows, but even now when I just disable them, it doesn't work. So I just unplug them, and I find I can unplug them. I can unplug them just directly from the PC and not have to reboot Oculus, and it works fine. So that's the only problem is right now I have to sort of configure and reconfigure for VR versus normal. But other than that, it's fine. So this is the best Archer I can find. Like I said, it seems to fly pretty close to the numbers of the real thing. Doesn't have sound for a lot of the switches. It doesn't have modern avionics. Not sure if I can switch it out with a G430. I'd like to. The plane I fly real world has a 430 right here, and ideally I'd be messing with that. So I just got the new Warrior. In fact, let's see if we can switch it while we're at it. There we go. See how long this takes. It's beautiful. But what I noticed yesterday is it wouldn't stall. So I had it in slow flight, and I had the yoke all the way back, and I had the power all the way off, and it just sort of hung on the prop. And that's not very realistic. Oh, I picked the one that I use in the, I picked the one that I use when I'm flying in the physical cockpit. That's why it says simulator to it. PA-28 Warrior, and let's pick, that's a pretty look. And I found that it sounds great, it looks great. It's like the Turbo Warrior that they have, the Turbo Arrow. I mean, it's a great airplane. The Just Flight stuff is really, really great. Works well in VR, but it just, the fact that I couldn't install it was a little weird. Hopefully this loads. Yeah, there we go. Whoa, whoa. That doesn't seem right. Oh, it's got a person in here. How stupid is that? That's dumb. I'll have to go into the plane editor and take him out. I was like, what is that? I'm stuck in his head. Let's adjust our, it's making me activate it also, which is weird. I activated it the other day. But you can see how this looks. I don't know if it'll let me start it if I haven't pasted in the activation. But I pasted the activation key the other day, so that's weird. Let's see if it will do it. No sounds again, which is strange, but whatever. I don't think it'll let me start it until I paste the activation key in. But, you know, everything works. And I'd like to put a 430 there because that's what I use in the real bird. But these turn in a way that's very natural for VR. Oh wait, was it working? Yeah, the key didn't actually change. And I don't hear any engine sounds, so there's something weird with that. But it's definitely, prop's turning. Well, I don't have any sound, but let's see if we can stall this airplane. I don't know why I don't have any sound. I don't think I've been know where that comes from. turned on, or